Hurt, dazed and confused, a little boy's suffering captures the horror of the bombing of Aleppo.
Australians remember Long Tan here and on the battlefield.
Here it was that brave Australians and brave Vietnamese fought unto death.
And US Olympic swimmers stopped from leaving Brazil over mugging allegations.
This is SBS World News with Anton Enos and Janice Peterson.
Good evening. Tonight, the suffering of a 5-year-old boy has become the focus of the siege of Aleppo. His name is Omran Daqneesh. He sits injured and dazed in an ambulance, a victim of Russia's unprecedented escalation in the bombing of the besieged city in support of the Syrian regime. Omran survived, but at least 3 children are among dozens of fatalities in the past 48 hours.
The aftermath of the latest airstrike on the Damascus suburb of Arbin. Rescue workers try to get to the wounded through clouds of dust and smoke. Up to 5 people were killed, 17 injured. Syrian opposition forces say they're bracing for more strikes. The Russian military's already confirmed a second round in 24 hours east of the country, with bombers deployed from an Iranian airbase. It gives Russia easier access to Syria, but the US says civilians in Aleppo are the ones who suffer. Like little Omran Daqneesh, his feet barely reach the chair's edge as he sits alone in an ambulance. The 5-year-old doesn't cry. Dazed and confused, he's hardly aware of the blood seeping from his forehead. 4 other children were hurt, all pulled from a building.
This isn't helpful. It continues to complicate what is already a very dangerous situation in and around Aleppo when you have Russia using Iranian air bases as a way to carry out more intensive bombing runs that are continue to hit civilian populations.
More than 300,000 Syrians are believed killed in the country's civil war. Amnesty International says Russian strikes have hit hospitals in civilian districts. The Russian foreign minister says the base shouldn't detract from efforts to resolve the conflict, rejecting allegations Russia's violating UN sanctions against Iran.
There's been no supply, sale or transfer of combat jets to Iran. These jets are being used by Russian air forces with Iranian consent within an anti-terrorist operation in Syria on the request of the legal Syrian government that Iran also cooperates with.
A top advisor to Iran's supreme leader says Russia's use of the base is no surprise.
This is a collaboration in the fight against terrorism and the invasion of the United States and its allies against our allies in the region. What Americans interpret from every action taken by Iran does not matter to us.
In the past few weeks, the rebels do appear to have gained momentum. Another reason why Russian airstrikes in support of the Assad regime are expected to intensify in coming days, all the while heightening concerns about the growing humanitarian crisis. Alicia Gates, SBS World News.